Hi guys, welcome back. Howard Real Truth. It's Thursday. Just a note, I'll be off the air on Monday and Tuesday. I will be back on Wednesday, Monday and Tuesday, of course. Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. In the meantime, I watched only a few minutes of the disgusting spectacle on TV today. I watched Christine Ford give her testimony. She appears to me so psychologically unstable that every time a cricket makes a noise, she loses a part of her mind. The Daily Wire points out that the Senate Judiciary Committee met with two men this week who think they assaulted her in 1982 and that it wasn't Brett Kavanaugh. There are no witnesses. She can't remember specifics. The one witness who was there, this gentleman named Judge, says it didn't happen. Kavanaugh says it didn't happen. Other women are stepping up to the plate because, after all, they want to cash in too. And the Democrats are laughing up their sleeves because they're throwing lie after lie after lie out there with no proof, no desire to present any proof. They just want to make the accusation in the hopes that it'll stick. And the Republicans they're nowhere to be seen. They're not fighting back. They're not outraged. Give credit where credit is due. Lindsey Graham, the senator, is voicing some angry words, but not enough, and not enough other Republicans are doing so. You understand that if a judge as exemplary as Brett Kavanaugh can be torpedoed by slanderous garbage lies like this, then every other judge who's not a liberal, or at least the middle-of-the-road guy, will also be slandered. And I hope it doesn't happen. If it does happen, you will see that the next judge who is brought up to replace Kavanaugh, just by coincidence, something from his or her past will pop up at the last minute. This is dirty politics. It's thievery. It's skullduggery. It should not be allowed. And somehow or another, the Democrats should be punished for sinking this low and forcing a man of honor and ethics like Brett Kavanaugh to undergo this Spartan circus, this theater of the absurd, and for subjecting the American people to it. Let's get past this garbage. Let's vote Kavanaugh onto the Supreme Court, and let's indeed make America better again, great again, because this is not making America anything except woozy, except nauseated. It's a disgusting spectacle. It's completely dishonest, and it's just about all that we get these days from the Democrat Party, which has nothing positive, nothing good to offer America, only trash. I will take a break. We'll come back. This is what we're going to be talking about today, my friends. You're listening to Real Truth. Stick around.
Grandpa's Pawn and Gun, serving Longmont in the Front Range of Colorado since 1994. We specialized in guns and currently have over 400 guns for sale. We also buy, sell, pawn, and trade for gold, silver, musical instruments, knives, archery equipment, quads, side-by-side, coins, and a lot more. We buy gun collections and do appraisals, which is smart for insurance purposes should a claim arise. We are, according to ATF, Colorado's second highest volume gun dealer, and because we have a lot lower overhead than the big box stores, we can beat the big box stores by as much as $100 per gun. And we have the lowest interest rates in northern Colorado, half of what the corporate stores charge when you're doing a loan. Come and see us at Grandpa's Pawn and Gun. If you love guns, if you love gold, come and see us. Check us out on the web, www.grandpaspawn.com or 303-772-7952. Grandpa?
All right, guys, since the show is called Real Truth, let's listen to some truth. Here's Brett Kavanaugh just a short while ago being sworn in before his testimony.
The testimony you're about to give before the committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yeah. And like we offered to Senator, or to Dr. Ford, you can take whatever time you want now for your opening statement. Then we'll go to questions, so proceed.
Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Feinstein, members of the committee, thank you for allowing me to make my statement. I wrote it myself yesterday afternoon and evening. No one has seen a draft or it except for one of my former law clerks. This is my statement. Less than 2 weeks ago, Dr. Ford publicly accused me of committing wrongdoing at an event more than 36 years ago when we were both in high school. I denied the allegation immediately, categorically, and unequivocally. All 4 people allegedly at the event, including Dr. Ford's longtime friend, Ms. Kaiser, have said they recalled no such event. Her longtime friend, Ms. Kaiser, said under penalty of felony that she does not know me and does not believe she ever saw me at a party ever. Here is the quote from Ms. Kaiser's attorney's letter. Quote, simply put, Ms. Kaiser does not know Mr. Kavanaugh, and she has no recollection of ever being at a party or gathering where he was present, with or without Dr. Ford. End quote. Think about that fact. The day after the allegation appeared, I told this committee that I wanted a hearing as soon as possible to clear my name. I demanded a hearing for the very next day. Unfortunately, it took the committee 10 days to get to this hearing. In those 10 long days, as was predictable, and as I predicted, my family and my name have been totally and permanently destroyed by vicious and false additional accusations. The 10-day delay has been harmful to me and my family, to the Supreme Court, and to the country. When this allegation first arose, I welcomed any kind of investigation, Senate, FBI, or otherwise. The committee now has conducted a thorough investigation, and I've cooperated fully. I know that any kind of investigation, Senate, FBI, Montgomery County Police, whatever, will clear me. Listen to the people I know. Listen to the people who have known me my whole life. Listen to the people I've grown up with, and worked with, and played with, and coached with, and dated, and taught, and gone to games with, and had beers with. And listen to the witnesses who allegedly were at this event 36 years ago. Listen to Ms. Kaiser. She does not know me. I was not at the party described by Dr. Ford. This confirmation process has become a national disgrace. The Constitution gives the Senate an important role in the confirmation process, but you have replaced advice and consent with search and destroy. Since my nomination in July, there's been a frenzy on the left to come up with something, anything, to block my confirmation. Shortly after I was nominated, the Democratic Senate leader said he would, quote, oppose me with everything he's got. A Democratic senator on this committee publicly referred to me as evil. Evil. Think about that word. It said that those who supported me were, quote, complicit in evil. Another Democratic senator on this committee said, quote, Judge Kavanaugh is your worst nightmare. A former head of the Democratic National Committee said, quote, Judge Kavanaugh will threaten the lives of millions of Americans for decades to come. I understand the passions of the moment, but I would say to those senators, your words have meaning. Millions of Americans listen carefully to you. Given comments like those, is it any surprise that people have been willing to do anything, to make any physical threat against my family, to send any violent email to my wife, to make any kind of allegation against me and against my friends, to blow me up and take me down? You sowed the wind. For decades to come, I fear that the whole country will reap the whirlwind. The behavior of several of the Democratic members of this committee at my hearing a few weeks ago was an embarrassment. But at least it was just a good old-fashioned attempt at borking. Those efforts didn't work. When I did at least okay enough at the hearings that it looked like I might actually get confirmed, a new tactic was needed. Some of you were lying in wait and had it ready. This first allegation was held in secret for weeks by a Democratic member of this committee and by staff. It would be needed only if you couldn't take me out on the merits. When it was needed, this allegation was unleashed and publicly deployed over Dr. Ford's wishes. And then, as no doubt was expected, if not planned, came a long series of false last-minute smears designed to scare me and drive me out of the process before any hearing occurred. Crazy stuff. Gangs, illegitimate children, fights on boats in Rhode Island. All nonsense, reported breathlessly and often uncritically by the media. This has destroyed my family and my good name. A good name built up through decades of very hard work and public service at the highest levels of the American government.
My friends, we're going to continue with Judge Kavanaugh, but now you're getting a taste of some of the filth and depravity that comes straight from the Democratic Party. We'll be back. All right, folks, let's listen to some more of the testimony from Judge Kavanaugh just from a short while ago.
The whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit. Fueled with apparent pent-up anger about President Trump in the 2016 election, fear that it's going to interfere with Senate elections, and plans on behalf of the Trump and millions of dollars of money from outside left-wing opposition groups. This is absurd. The consequences may extend beyond the past 9 months. The consequences will be with us for decades. This grotesque and coordinated character assassination will display competent people. Our political as we all know, the United States was rose around sit here today, some 36 years after the election had been approved, when there is
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll listen to more. This is the sound of truth, by the way. Real truth. It's in the title of the show. What you're hearing is truth. You can hear it in Judge Kavanaugh's voice. It's made plain by the facts, and you can see it in his face. On the other side, you've got a Democratic Party from the gutter, willing to do any dirty thing they can think of to get what they want. It's enough to make you sick. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere.
How many times have you gone into a health food store and are confused as to the many different brands and prices of the same herbal supplements? You want to buy the cheapest, but you're afraid that quality is less, so you buy the most expensive. Truth is, the cheapest may be better. Green herb herbal supplements are all manufactured in our Wheat Ridge, Colorado plant at 4565 Kipling Street, using the highest quality herb that we source from all over the world. Our 150 different herbal supplements are the most potent and safe in America. Our guarantee is you're going back to the kindness. Just return the bottle empty or full, no questions asked. So when you come to our new location, look for our new name and visit the help. Or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372. We hope these proofs to be self-evident. Not all men are created equal, but they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the government. This is the America consent. Several Colorado servers, keepers, and funders who have been free. They're willing to put their lives on the line for those who will go back. So let's all take the time to thank our special struggles for all they do for us. Also thanking our veterans for the sacrifice they made for our freedom. This message is from Chaplain LLC, the two locations at Midland and South, serving the community for over 13 years. This is an online at chapelcollege.com. If the masterpiece struggle with your family, be prepared. Are you confident in what you have in a panic? Is it one way to get all your emergency supplies? Barrett Survival encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Barrett Survival is located at 3350 South Broadway. Is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Barrett Survival.
My friends, you're listening to Real Truth, and you're hearing some very real truth from Judge Brett Kavanaugh from just a short while ago, speaking to the sleazebag members of Congress. Let's continue.
Why did I keep that?
Now, if you can't tell from the video, from listening to it, on several occasions, Judge Kavanaugh has been on the verge of tears. This is the depth to which he's been driven by Democratic Party scumbags who want power so much they'll do anything to get it.
Christmas time, we sit around and he regales us with old stories. Old milestones, old weddings, old events from his calendars. In ninth grade, in 1980, I started keeping calendars of my own. For me also, it's both a calendar and a diary. I've kept such diaries for the last 38 years. Mine are not as good as my dad's in some years. And when I was a kid, the calendars are about what you would expect from a kid. Some goofy parts, some embarrassing parts. But I did have the summer of 1982 documented pretty well. The event described by Dr. Ford presumably happened on a weekend, because I believe everyone worked and had jobs in the summers. In any event, a drunken early evening event of the kind she describes presumably happened on a weekend. If it was a weekend, my calendars show that I was out of town almost every weekend night before football training camp started in late August. The only weekend nights that I was in D.C. were Friday, June 4, when I was with my dad at a pro golf tournament. And had my high school achievement test at 8:30 the next morning. I also was in D.C. on Saturday night, August 7th, when I was at a small gathering at Becky's house in Rockville with Matt, Denise, Lori, and Jenny. Their names are all listed on my calendar. I won't use their last names here. And then on the weekend of August 20 and 22nd, I was staying at the Garrett's with Pat and Chris as we did final preparations for football training camp that began on Sunday the 22nd. As the calendars confirm, that weekend before a brutal football training camp schedule was no time for parties. So let me emphasize this point. If the party described by Dr. Ford happened in the summer of 1982 on a weekend night, my calendar shows all but definitively that I was not there. During the weekdays in the summer of 1982, as you can see, I was out of town for 2 weeks of the summer for a trip to the beach with friends and at the legendary 5-star basketball camp in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. When I was in town, I spent much of my time working out, lifting weights, playing basketball, or hanging out and having some beers with friends as we talked about life and football and school and girls. Some have noticed that I didn't have church on Sundays on my calendars. I also didn't list brushing my teeth. And for me, going to church on Sundays was like brushing my teeth. Automatic. Still is. In the summer of 1981, I had worked construction. In the summer of 1982, my job was cutting lawns. I had my own business of sorts. You see some specifics about the lawn cutting listed on the August calendar page. When I had to time the last lawn cuttings of the summer of various lawns before football training camp. I played in a lot of summer league basketball games for the Georgetown prep team at night at Blair High School in Silver Spring. Many nights I worked out with other guys at Tobin's house. He was a great quarterback on our football team. His dad ran workouts. Or lifted weights at Georgetown Prep in preparation for the football season. I attended and watched many sporting events, as is my habit to this day. The calendars show a few weekday gatherings at friends' houses after a workout or just to meet up and have some beers. But none of those gatherings included the group of people that Dr. Ford has identified. And as my calendars show, I was very precise about listing who was there. Very precise. And keep in mind, my calendars also were diaries of sorts, forward-looking and backward-looking, just like my dad's. You can see, for example, that I crossed out missed workouts and the canceled doctor's appointments, that I listed the precise people who had shown up for certain events. The calendars are obviously not dispositive on their own, but they're another piece of evidence in the mix for you to consider.
My friends, think for a second. We're about to go to a commercial. What must the Democrats sitting in that chamber be thinking? Dianne Feinstein, Pat Leahy, other scumbags of that ilk. People who know this is fake. People who know it's a lie. People who have plotted this disgusting spectacle. What must they be thinking? Are they ashamed? Are they sorry for what they've done? I guarantee they're not. If a Dianne Feinstein or any of the other Democratic mutts in the chamber, if they are racked with guilt, they should consider suicide. Because America will be far better without them. Without people who don't mind lying, stealing, cheating, ruining people, destroying good people in order to get what they want. People like Dianne Feinstein are cancer cells. They're cancer. And the body they're killing is the American people, is the United States of America. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more truth from Judge Kavanaugh. All right, guys, welcome back. We're listening to a very emotional testimony from Judge Brett Kavanaugh today, answering the filthy lies and slanders that have been thrown against him by power-hungry, ambitious Democrats. Let's continue. He's taking a sip of water. He needs to compose himself.
Fifth, Dr. Ford's allegations are radically inconsistent with my records of my character from my youth to the present day. As students at the Illinois Catholic Central School, many of us became friends. Remain friends to this day. As students at Riell Catholic Schools. One feature of my life has remained true to the present day is that I've always been invited close to Riell friends. I'm not talking about girlfriends. I'm talking about friends for women. That started in high school. Maybe because I was proud and had no sisters. Even though we met through social media, text, and email, and we talked on the phone. I remember trying to learn to roll a knife. My friends Amy and Julie. But Crystal, Aaron, Victoria, Maria, Nick, Amy. The list goes on. Friends for a lifetime. Built on a foundation of character and spirit and fight for a community. Several of you might know my time with them. My friends and I, sometimes got together and had girls' dinner parties. Between the ages of 18 and 30, sometimes had stories of perfectly average teenagers. I tried to pick my favorite celebrity and become friends with them. Sometimes I had 2 partners. Sometimes I had 3. I liked them. I suffered with them. But I have not claimed to care for them or happy hours. They never surprised me. There's a bright line between being a leader, a competitive leader, reflecting your beliefs, and a friend who stretches you, but does not crush you. Every American believes a leader is one of character, but I believe a mature leader is one who is willing to learn and reflect himself, only in a humble and approachable way. I never want to be secretary. As high school students, we sometimes wore uniforms to class. When we got there in the morning after graduation, we would turn in each report. We would take our yearbooks to class. Some vendors would photocopy the yearbook. Some laminate it. We gave them back. We handed them back. The mascots would put it in the mail. America's photos would have a meaning. When we were in Riell, we would continue to learn. As a basketball player, my friends and I would win this. That night, one thing in particular was that night. We were defeated for 9 weeks without game uniforms or uniforms. Negative references coming from the players that we met. But when you fight the media's hard-written respect is common like defeat. So even though I struggled a little bit to let my character define me, I had to learn to let my character define me.
Judge Kavanaugh is a man of honor and integrity, surrounded by a community of friends with honor and integrity. Besmirched and slandered by political dirtbags on the left who will commit any crime to get what they want. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in person, houses, papers, and defense against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no warrant shall be issued on probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the things to be searched and the person or thing to be seen.
According to the account of the nation's domestic, he makes the plan that the people of the council of the Lord stand forever. The plans of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation with God is his. The people he has chosen as his own inheritance. 33%.
Travel accountability with our emergency first responders to the free. They're willing to put their lives on the line for us to do their own thing. One thing we come to thank our first responders for all they do for us. We're also thanking our veterans for the sacrifice they made for our freedom. This message is from Chaplain Collins, LLC, the two locations in Denver and Fort Collins, serving the community for over 13 years. Visit them online at chapelcollins.com. Military dedication self-service. Their commitment and courage was made safe and strong. Just one of those who lost their life in flying cities. The influence today is relying for two common versions that 4462 ongoing deployment to the entire area and to work with the Kavanaugh future. Registration for 970 535 3780.
All right, guys, let's spend the last 4 minutes hearing some more from Brett Kavanaugh. Remember, I'll be off on Monday and Tuesday for Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. I'll be back on Wednesday. Here's Judge Kavanaugh once again.
What's on the line for me? Those are some awesome women. I love all. You also have a letter from women who knew me in college. Most were varsity athletes. They described that I treated them as friends and equals. I supported them in their sports at a time when women's sports was emerging in the wake of Title IX. I thank all of them for all their texts, their emails, and their support. One of those women friends from college, the self-described liberal and feminist, sent me a text last night that said, quote, "Deep breaths. You're a good man, a good man, a good man." A text yesterday from another of those women friends from college said, quote, "Brett, be strong. Pulling for you to my core." A third text yesterday from yet another of those women I'm friends with from college said, "I'm holding you in the light of God." As I said in my opening statement the last time I was with you, cherish your friends, look out for your friends, lift up your friends, love your friends.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to stop the video there. You'll find it on YouTube. We're about to finish for the week. Let me say this. You know that I'm Jewish. I have many Christian friends, and I know that Christians, from my studying the religion, refer to Satan as the prince of lies. Well, if you're honest about what's happening in the world today in the national scene, all the lies are coming from the left. This Kavanaugh testimony, this whole witch hunt trying to take him down is a prime example. So if Satan is the prince of lies, he must be in good company in the Democrat Party, because they subsist these days on little else but lies. And so if you are a Christian, and if you abhor liars, and if you value the truth, and if you value honor and integrity, I don't care what religion you are, if you value decency, we've got to put an end to today's Democratic Party. We've got to vote them out of office on every level, because lies will bring this great republic down. Lies have come close to destroying this good man, Judge Kavanaugh. How do you battle evil in today's generation? You get rid of the liars. You vote out the liars. And you go with the truth. Because the truth, I say this as an Orthodox Jew, the truth always leads directly to God. My friends, I want you to have a peaceful weekend. If you're celebrating Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah, I hope it's a joyous holiday for you. Think about what you've heard on the show today. Because in America, the fate of the country is in our hands. And God is watching to see what we do with it. I'll see you next week.